Toni Storm is all elite. Toni Storm made her AEW debut tonight on AEW Dynamite live from Columbia, South Carolina. She got an amazing ovation. We were talking about who it might be, who was going to be the Bunny's mystery opponent. Tony Khan said that there was going to be a signing. Tony Khan said that there was going to be a debut, and it ended up being the Mae Young Classic winner from the year 2018, Toni Storm. She made a huge impact defeating the Bunny in an Owen Hart Foundation qualifying match that has her in the tournament. Now the Owen Hart Foundation Cup is going to happen in the lead up to Double or Nothing, so she's obviously going to be a big part of that, and she could win the whole thing. She has in kayfabe, she knows a thing or two about winning tournaments, so I'm sure they'll reference at least her aptitude in this endeavor for sure. But outside of that, for the AEW women's division, I know a lot of people talk about, AEW's roster is getting pretty bloated. AEW, they're signing all these people. Well, guess what? One thing that AEW could always use more of are really, really, really good women's wrestlers. Wrestlers in general, you can never have too many wrestlers, but the AEW women's division, if we're being honest, they have a lot of talent. But it's been a slow ride, man, with the women's division, and it has nothing to do with the talent of these women. It has nothing to do with, honestly, their in-ring performances are really good most of the time. What it has to do with is lack of TV time and just bad booking. That has been the crux of the problems with the AEW women's division. And one of the ways you can fix that is have more experienced, more talented, younger people and add depth to it. That can help mask some of the pitfalls that AEW faces. But at the end of the day, when you have a talent like Toni Storm, who, again, the history of Toni Storm, I haven't even gotten into that part, how she left WWE. The last time we saw Toni Storm, she quit. She straight up quit WWE. And it was during a house show in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. She just stormed right out of the ring, went out, and she was gone, released just a few days later, and now she's all elite. But if you don't want similar things happening in AEW, and I'm not saying that Toni Storm is going to do that, I'm just saying in general, if you don't want the bad reputation, if you don't want the reputation, I should say, of being a company that doesn't know how to book women's wrestling, just book better. That's what AEW has to do. It's been the problem. And look, the signings and the presence of people like Toni Storm, Marina Shafir, Thunder Rosa now being the world champion, it's going to help. But nothing is going to change for AEW if they don't get this right. They have a lot of women's talent. They have a lot of really great female talent. And I know they're just starting to do it. They're just starting to incorporate storylines with legit Layla Hirsch. They're just starting to incorporate storylines with people like Chris Statlander and the like. And now Jade Cargill, obviously the TBS champion, she has a huge presence. But at the end of the day, we're seeing some of the same problems arise. And honestly, as someone who's a fan of AEW, a huge fan of AEW, I want to see the women's division thrive. Toni Storm, in my eyes, is a huge step in the right direction, but just like I said with Ruby Soho, no excuses. Zero excuses for the women's division to be booked bad, to be honestly second rate. Because that's the way AEW tends to book their women's division, as second rate. And it shouldn't be the case. Because they got a lot of really talented people. You got Ruby Soho, Chris Statlander, legit Layla Hirsch, Britt Baker, now Toni Storm, Jade Cargill, Ty Conti. You got all these really great wrestlers. And we're still figuring it out. I understand it was a struggle in the beginning, but now there's no excuses. Toni Storm is all elite. Make it work. That's what AEW is going to have to do.